welcome to WeAwake, our weekly meditation. And we know a lot of you do this schedule every week. We really appreciate your presence because everybody brings your own energy to this. And the experience of meditating with others is different than meditating alone. They're both good, but there is a field that's created. And it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in or wherever, it brings us all together. So we are listening to Digital Acupuncture. That's a very interesting track. There's 3 tracks, and we're listening to the 3rd one. And this is not the binaural beats, that sort of thing. This is all subtle energy. So this is the kind of stuff that that you experience when you're doing good yoga, or when you're doing qigong or tai chi, or any subtle energy, or Reiki. It's that kind of thing. And people have been aware of this type of energy and using it for healing purposes for millennia. We don't know how far back it goes, but we all have it. And Chinese doctors say that all of our health issues are from blockages in this essential qi flow. So I have used practices that promote that at different times in my life, and I need to start doing it again. But it's very helpful. And also, if you listen to digital acupuncture, and can your earbuds or headphones, I use earbuds so they don't get in the way, and then I do qigong practice. It's really good. Also great if you're doing subtle martial arts training, kung fu and things like that. Really helps. A lot of people who are martial artists and meditators and qigongers have shared that with me, and I've experienced that ourselves. So this should calm us, make us feel better, and get the subtle energy in our bodies, which is none other than the energy of the universe moving and flowing in a healthy way. So without further ado, let's get this rolling. Welcome back. I could have gone on with that for another couple of hours. I think that was beautiful. Took me back to a time I was in Utah wilderness in a place called Dark Canyon. Found this old cowboy cabin that had been abandoned for years, or maybe some cowboys still use it when they were in the neighborhood. But nobody had been in there for a while, and I think were you there with me, Ken? Anyway, got right in the middle of this huge thunder and lightning storm and rain and the tin roof and the whole deal. Of, when when you see the lightning and the thunder, it's like, oh, there's no lapse in time. It's right there. And it was very holy. And just remembered me that energy that I felt there, and that deeply beautiful spiritual experience. And we need to, and we're talking about subtle energies. One of the ways that we gather subtle energy is being in nature and being in wilderness. It's transformative. And I have a friend, Charles Lawrence. He's an elder, but quite a guy. And he's a white guy, but he's been accepted in the different tribes as a medicine person. And in his different ceremonies and that he's done, whether it's sun dancing or different things or vision quest, he's been hit by lightning 3 times and survived. And that's pretty powerful. And I had friends who were Native Americans, and I had a friend who was an elder, Wallace Black Elk. That's how I met Charles Lawrence, because he was a friend of his too, and he really helped me out. But I would kind of go with him when he was on the West Coast, and just take care of him so he could focus on teaching. And I learned a whole lot. But when you're in those spaces with these native, and I don't know a lot. I know about the Native American teacher. He was Lakota. Yeah, magical, spiritual things happen. The world's alive in synchronicity, and animals show up, and it's all that stuff. You're saying, oh, that old superstitious stuff. It wasn't old superstitious stuff. It actually it worked for thousands of years. It's still there if we open ourselves to it. And in our evolution, we've gone in the West. We had Christianity that kind of, for some reason, I don't think it came from Jesus, but it's very separated from nature and from the body. And then with modernity, we had just a science-based world. It's all based on scientific data that can be repeated, and it kind of disenchanted the world. There's no interiors. It's all just stuff. The 4 main powers, forces that the quantum physicists have been struggling with. What is it? It's gravity, the powerful nuclear force, and the light nuclear force, and electromagnetism. They say that's it. That's what makes this universe. And they never figured out how to do an equation that makes that actually so. I think they're leaving out just a little bit is consciousness that all this stuff comes from. So when you try to boil it down to purely physical, it is a lonely place to be, and our souls and spirit cries out for more, and we can reintroduce ourselves into the left behind wisdom of our ancestors. And they're not saying it was all great back then, and they're all sweet, loving hippie people. And no, they were still human beings, and they had slaves, and they did all this stuff. But they're and among the more enlightenment that I've known, that wasn't so. And so yeah, we can tap into that kind of energy, and it's transformational, and it is a layer of reality that actually there and works. And they wouldn't have done it still doing it for thousands of years if it didn't work. And you get in that kind of space, and just things start happening, synchronicities, and it's quite powerful. So that's what came up for me when I was listening to this track. Very beautiful, powerful tracks. And yeah, let the purity and the power and the regenerative um, spirit of the natural world and all the spirits associated with it, right? As native people, they thought everything was holy. Everything came from the Great Spirit. Every tree, every plant, every leaf, every animal, the wind, all had its energy and its spiritual energy. And when you open to that, it is quite transformative, and it can be very helpful in meeting the despair and the hopelessness and the lostness that sometimes we experience in our very technologically advanced world, and all the stuff that we can do. And we can do all these things and all the stuff, but it leaves us empty inside without that. So I don't know, I just want to honor that in this talk and say, remember the ancestors. And if you know any people like that, honor them, listen to them, hang out with them. And then if you don't know any people like that, just go hang out in nature in an open, uh, prayerful, humble way, as not the top of the food chain, but as a part of the earth and a part of, of nature. And yeah, it's really good, and it's really powerful. And those powerful medicinal, I'm not using it in medicine and something you take necessarily, but in the Native American culture, said medicine is the power, energy to heal. So, and that comes through these subtle energies, and can open us up to be better people, to be more alive, more awake, and to not fall asleep, and to honor all living beings. So I think that's probably enough. And thank you, grandfather, for all you taught me. And thank you, lightning and thunder. And thank you, Eric, for making that beautiful track. Thank you all for showing up.